On any normal weekend, if we were reporting on a Marvel movie opening less than Captain America Brave New World and The Eternals, that would be the headline. And yes, we'll talk about it. But folks, the only thing Disney may be talking about this weekend is that Taylor Swift has received a subpoena from a high-powered pit bull of an attorney. And it turns out that things are turning poorly for Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool and Wolverine. It's Amber Heard 2.0.
So many women around afraid to speak, especially right now, afraid to share their experiences.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Pro Channel, where we as ever endeavor to explain entertainment, keeping you ahead of the culture curve. And get ready, because this is a nut which is about to crack open. Ladies and gentlemen, all of Hollywood is getting ready for the Battle Bazaar that is about to happen. Folks, as we get ready to dive into this, click the like button. We have a report now. This is out of Steph Anie from @MyNerdyHome over on X. And we're going to show you where this comes from. Let me read it to you. After weeks of rumors that it was coming, the subpoena has been issued, compelling T Swift herself, tears on her guitar, Taylor Swift to submit an interview by Baldoni's Street Fighter, Hadouken, lawyer Brian Friedman under oath. Never a pleasant experience for anyone, especially someone such as T Swift, who doesn't typically have to do these sorts of things. She's at the top. You don't normally get a shot at her. Well, guess what? Guess what? The court says yes, apparently, according to this report, and it doesn't come from a small source. We'll show you in just a second. But Friedman, who is an absolute pit bull, is going to sit down with T Swift. Why does it matter? Well, because Taylor Swift is besties with Blake Lively. And Blake Lively is Ryan Reynolds' wife. And Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds may have mocked and parodied Justin Baldoni and Deadpool and Wolverine in a way that is legally actionable. No, really. Part of an attempt to destroy his career. That's what's alleged here. And that means that Disney is a co-conspirator, whether they know it or not, whether they were part of it voluntarily, involuntarily. That's what is so fascinating about all of this. And so Marvel is being drug into it. But you've got a situation where you've got Feige and Taylor Swift, and you got her boyfriend or boy toy being brought into it as well. Friedman is one of the most powerful and feared litigators in the entertainment industry. He has represented actors and celebs, including Spacey, accused of bad stuff, Kate Beckinsale, Julia Roberts, and Bella Thorne. Continuing on. It says, a source said, Taylor Swift has now been subpoenaed. Some subpoenas are being sent this week. Some depositions are in the process now of being scheduled. People often push back and say that they can't for various reasons, but you really cannot get out of it. And that's not all. It says in this article that Swift's boyfriend, the American football player Travis Kelce, will soon receive a subpoena of his own, as well as Lively and Reynolds' friend, Wolverine star Hugh Jackman. Yes, this is going all throughout. I would not be surprised as they get more information if Kevin Feige is not brought in to testify. The news will come as yet another heavy blow, possibly the heaviest and most painful yet, to the 37-year-old Lively who made her name in the hit teen series Gossip Girl in the late 2000s. What is this, folks? Well, this is the attempt to get to the truth behind Blake Lively. And, I promised I'd show you where this came from. Here you go. Let's do this first. This is out of dailymail.uk by Alison Boshoff. Now, you all know we have a policy here. We don't go behind paywalls, and this is behind a subscription paywall. But I believe that is what Steph Anie is posting from, as best we can tell. The article is, what will Taylor's private text to best friend Blake Lively reveal about the bitterest feud in showbiz? Insiders tell Alison Boshoff a bombshell legal move could spell the end of Star's relationship with Blake Lively. Folks, if you've got a subscription to the Daily Mail, we recommend that you go read it. And this has just been breaking not so long ago. Now, we're going to get to the Thunderbolts issue in just a minute, because Marvel is really in a bad spot here. Let me explain how bad this is. For Marvel, they want to continue making Deadpool and Wolverine movies. They want to continue using Deadpool. And the problem for that right now is that Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds may have done something they really should not have done in this last movie. May have. And that's what this effort, these subpoenas, this discovery, that's what this is all about, is getting to the heart of, did you attempt to destroy a man's career through smears in a comedy produced and distributed by Disney? And if that's the case, then Disney could be really, really in a bad place for having to make some payments, for having to make some recompense, and the certain segments of the Deadpool character might be off limits. It also, because Blake Lively seems to have started this in terms of the legal action, right? This is the turnaround now. What this also could do is, because Blake Lively started this, you could run into an Amber Heard situation. And that's what it looks like it may do, because Disney is being forced on the side of defending themselves, and themselves was tied to Blake Lively. So because Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds were doing whatever they were doing with the movie, maybe, Disney's tied to them. So now Disney is on the side of defending themselves along with these two, and they're defending themselves against this Justin Baldoni character who Blake Lively seems to have wanted, maybe, allegedly, to smear into a crater somewhere near Mount Doom. All right, but Blake Lively is not seen it that way. Blake Lively talks about her tough year that she literally brought on herself. Claims she's the voice for all the women who don't have a voice, takes a quick shot at Weekend Update, and believes she's fighting for a safer world for women and girls. So let's hear it. We'll give it a chance. Here's Blake Lively. Here's how she's presenting herself. And just consider, folks, are we in an Amber Heard 2.0 situation? Maybe even worse for Disney. Then we'll get to those Thunderbolts projections.
You mentioned you had an intense year. I'm maybe not as totally informed about it as other people.
I'm thrilled you're not doing Weekend Update right now, because you would be quite informed. So it's good, yeah.
But were I to ask you about it, I imagine you're in a situation where you can't say much.
Yeah, I mean, what I can say without going too into it is that this year has been full of the highest highs and the lowest lows of my life. And I see so many women around afraid to speak, especially right now, afraid to share their experiences. And fear is by design. It's what keeps us silent. But I also acknowledge that many people don't have the opportunity to speak. So I do feel fortunate that I've been able to.
So she's not doing this for herself, ladies and gentlemen. She's not doing this for her hubby. She's not doing this for anybody other than all the women out there. Ladies, she's doing it for you.
And it's the women who have had the ability to use their voice that's kept me strong and you know, helped me in my belief and my fight for the world to be safer for women and girls.
It's all to make things safer. She wants to improve the quality of life of every single female around the world. That's why she's doing this. That's the kind of grandiose ways that she's talking about it. And ultimately, it comes down to she and Mr. Baldoni did not get along. And if she had a clear-cut, folks, I'm telling you, if she had a clear-cut allegation or something, some piece of evidence that said this guy did something really bad, we would be on her defense immediately. We're never going to defend a situation where a guy is taking advantage of a lady. We don't care about the power, like in terms of finances or celebrity. If a dude is treating a lady poorly, we're 100% going to jump to the lady's defense. In this case, she's laid out her case to a large degree, and it's just difficult to find, you know, are these two flawed individuals? Sure. But it's tough to find exactly what she's trying to allege. So let's go now, because Thunderbolts is here, and I just want to explain why this is so devastating to Marvel. Why they need to, they're stuck with her, but they want to get unstuck as fast as possible. This is out of The Independent. It's by Ellie Muir, and it says Marvel's Thunderbolts has successful opening day at box office, while Sinners continues to have impressive hold. Let's get into the statistics here. Marvel's latest offering, Thunderbolts, is on track to top the weekend box office rankings after making $31.5 million across Friday in preview screenings for more than 4,000 U.S. cinemas. The successful release day puts the film, is it successful? We'll talk about it, about a misfit squad of Marvel anti-heroes in a position to meet projections for domestic opening weekend between 70 and 75. Does it? We'll talk about it. However, this will still rank the film as drawing one of the lowest Marvel openings in history. It is likely to gross less than Disney's previous Marvel outing, Captain America Brave New World, which was released in February and had a successful Was it successful? $40.9 million opening day and made $88 million over the weekend. Now, if we just take a look at this, just take a look at the numbers real quick. Thunderbolts at 31 comes in under Captain America Brave New World at 41, essentially. And my math tells me that's just about exactly a 25% drop. Now, if Brave New World made $88 million, and if a 25% drop holds, for the whole weekend, then Thunderbolts will come in less than 70. Less than 70. So I'm not saying that it will, because maybe it'll have good word of mouth. We gave it a 6.6 out of 10 here on this channel. It's decent, but I don't know that it's going to be the great kind of film that draws crowds. You know, I just don't see it. So if it holds, if that percentage drop holds, this lands maybe around 68 million. Maybe it just barely breaks 70. So the problem there is that puts this on track to make something like 300, 350 million. And if 300, 350 million is what it makes worldwide, and if this film, which they talk about in this article how much it cost to make, and they're alleging right here, Variety reports that the film had a production budget of 180 plus 100 to market and distribute, which would put it at 280. And just rounding up, let's go to 300 for easy numbers. Disney gets back about 50% of all box office revenues after the theaters get their cut and the taxes and all that. So Disney would need 600 million for a break even. You can pull that down and say 550. This movie is not on track to get close. And that means it's another multi-$100 million flop for Marvel. Now that's bad. That's bad. And I have serious doubts about the reporting from Variety on the production cost. And they're using production cost, not budget. Budget is usually where they get the sneakiness, but they're calling it production cost of 180. I have serious doubts. Andor is costing them 600 million. So that's what makes it tough. But Marvel, at the same time that they are crashing, and I mean crashing, at the same time that they're crashing, they've got a Pirates of the Caribbean Amber Heard situation on their hands that could completely derail one of their major characters, as well as Hugh Jackman. I mean, this could get really ugly. You could have Kevin Feige being brought in to testify. They want documents as to how Nice Pool was made, all of this stuff. So you've got a really messy, ugly situation on your hands at the same time that you're on track right now for 3 flops in 2025. And you've had Brave New World flop spectacularly. Thunderbolts is flopping even more dramatically. And now you're going to have Fantastic Four, which could open the door to people saying, oh, wait, I don't think that Avengers Doomsday is going to do anything. It may be that people have just left Marvel. There are excuses coming out, right? You all may have seen the articles talking about Kevin Feige saying that, I don't know if it's exactly Kevin Feige, but somebody out there is saying that Marvel bosses, they've learned their lesson. They know now that they've given too much homework. You all don't want to do homework, yada, yada, yada. And it's like, well, that is a pittance compared to what really happened, but that's the preferred narrative, because what they don't want to do is say, yeah, we sacrificed Marvel the same way we sacrificed Star Wars on the altar of politics and ideology, because that's what they did. And sure, yes, clearly having people have to watch every single Disney Plus show to know what the heck's going on, that was a bad idea. Clearly. But if the shows were riveting and if the movies were riveting, then I understand that strategy, and maybe that wouldn't work for any other franchise except for Marvel. But Marvel of 10 years ago, it would have worked. And it was messy, right? The way they did it is messy, sure. But ultimately, if they had not done the MCU, if they had not done, we're going to give you hand-me-down superheroes. We're going to take the characters that you know and we're going to swap them via gender and race. If they hadn't done that, then what you would have seen is people still enjoying this stuff. And they had a great and wonderful roster of characters of all different varieties and backgrounds and ethnicities and everything. They didn't want to use them. For whatever crazy reason, they decided we're going to elevate characters that are on the Z tier. And because we're Marvel, and we're going to elevate messages that our audience might not agree with, but by golly, we're going to change the world. And that was the fatal flaw. That was the mistake that Marvel made. That's what Kevin Feige was thinking. They shouldn't have let go of people like Perlmutter, who was in charge of phases 1, 2, and 3, apparently holding the purse strings and keeping things efficient. They sniffed their own flatulence just a wee bit too much, although maybe one time is too much, but they did it too much, and they bought into the hype. They believed that they had the ultimate Midas touch, that they could do no wrong, and they all decided they were going to get the world along to a better place, buying into partisan viewpoints via Marvel. Now they're marveling at how far things have gone down. So you've got Thunderbolts, showing that the collapse is here, really and truly. And the articles are not fully giving that. Of course they're not going to, because the death of the superhero genre might be the death of the entire cinema experience. I don't know how cinemas make it. They're going to have to depend on Minecraft and video game adaptations if the superhero genre is gone. I mean, that's been pouring in billions of dollars every year. But they slaughtered it. They slayed it. And the reason was for the, what would we call it? The era of quotas when it comes to your immutable differences and who they're going to put up on the screen. You want to watch Thor? We'll give you She-Thor, and we'll emasculate Thor, and we'll do it in the trailer. That's the kind of stuff. You want more of big baddies fighting each other? Here, we'll make you sad. She-Hulk instead. That kind of stuff. That kind of stuff. And so here we are now. And as Marvel is at the lowest point that it's ever been, with Thunderbolts tracking 25% lower than even the flop that was Captain America Brave New World, even as it is tracking lower than the Eternals, even as that is happening, the subpoenas are going out. Deadpool and Wolverine, one of the only successes that Marvel has been able to find, is now at the center of a major legal lawsuit that's going to break open much of Hollywood, and all because Blake Lively appears dedicated to being Amber Heard 2.0. What a way to go. What a way to go. Folks, that is the Sunday story for now. We'll see you real soon, though. 4 videos out every single day. Thank you for coming our way. It's a joy every time we are joined by you in our quest to give you the next big story and tomorrow's headlines. Folks, click the like button, share, subscribe, click it, stick it to the algorithms. It is the notification bell. Drop a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts. And until the next time, we have the honor and the privilege of being with you. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.
This is Wilton the Troll reporting for That's Park Place, and I'm surrounded by loving and adoring people who are peacefully trying to make sure that poor kids aren't cold in the winter. And just behind me, you can see a totally natural bonfire for baking cookies or making marshmallows.
Yeah, so, Wilson, we're really appreciate the effort and stuff, but we're looking for real and, accurate news reporting on that Park Place.
So not like most news outlets, huh?
No.